We continue now at the top of Daf Yomi Gemara in Mesechet Kesubos. This is Kesubos Daf 5a. The Gemara here continues. Why is it that you're not allowed to have the first act of relations on Saturday night? Mishum cheshbonos. It's because of calculations. Rashi over here says Mishum cheshbonos shem yichnos l'matzai Shabbos. If he's going to get married on Motzei Shabbos, that's going to be the first time they have relations. So yases suda b'layla. He'll make a meal that night. V'yachsho b'Shabbos, and then he'll do all kinds of calculations on Shabbos. Mahu tzarech lahotzi, what needs to be spent, etc. Uchsiv v'daber davar, and it says you're not supposed to do these kinds of things on Shabbos. You can't make these kinds of calculations. And the Gemara says, Amar le Abaye. So Abaye said back to him, 1 second. V'cheshbono shel mitzvah mi asire. Calculations that have to do with a mitzvah, is that really prohibited? This is mitzvah related. That shouldn't be a problem anyway. V'Rav Chisda v'Rav Hamnuna da'amri tarvayu. But don't Rav Chisda and Rav Hamnuna both say, cheshbono shel mitzvah muter l'chashvan b'Shabbos. If you have calculations related to a mitzvah, you're allowed to do those calculations on Shabbos. V'Amar Rav Elazar, and Rav Elazar says, poskin tzedakah l'aniyim b'Shabbos. You can allocate money for the poor on Shabbos. V'Amar Rav Yaakov, Amar Rav Yochanan, and Rav Yaakov says in the name of Rav Yochanan, holchin levate knasiyos, so levate midrashos. You can go to shuls, you can go to beis medrashes, lefakayach aliskei rabbim b'Shabbos, in order to investigate issues that have to do in order to take care of public matters on Shabbos. V'Yamar Rav Yaakov Baridi, Yamar Rav Yochanan, and Rav Yaakov Baridi says in the name of Rav Yochanan, mefachin pikuach nefesh b'Shabbos. You're allowed to supervise issues related to pikuach nefashos, relating to saving lives on Shabbos. V'Yamar Rav Shmuel bar Nachmeni, Yamar Rav Yonasan, and Rav Shmuel bar Nachmeni says in the name of Rav Yonasan, holchin letartios or lekarkios. You're allowed to go to the theaters and the circuses, lefakayach aliskei rabbim b'Shabbos, again to deal with things that concern the public. V'tanan devei Menashe, and it was also taught in the yeshiva of Menashe, mishadchin al atinokas leoris b'Shabbos. You're allowed to make arrangements, shiduchim, for the young girls to be betrothed on Shabbos. V'al atinok l'lamdo sefer l'lamdo umnos. You're also allowed to make arrangements in terms of having a child, a young boy, be taught Torah or be taught some kind of a profession. So in any case, all of these things are permitted, and likewise in this case as well. Why should there be any problem having the first act of bia on Saturday night? And so the Gemara continues, Elo Amar Rabbi Zeira. Rather, Rabbi Zeira says there's a different reason why the first act of relations cannot be on Saturday night. Gezeira Shema Yishchot Benof. It's actually a Gezeira. We're afraid that on Shabbos the person might end up shechting a bird, a chicken. In other words, in preparation for this wedding feast, the person might end up directly violating Shabbos. And the Gemara continues, Amar le Abaye. So Abaye said to Rabbi Zeira, Ela Me'ata, but according to that, Yom HaKippurim Shechol Yos B'Sheni B'Shabbos. Let's say Yom Kippur falls out on a Monday. So Yidcha, we should push that off because there's a mitzvah to have a meal then on Sunday, the Seudah Mafsekes, because Gezeira, Shemi Yishchot Benof, we should have a Gezeira. Maybe he's going to end up shechting a bird on Shabbos itself in preparation for this mitzvah Seudah. And so the Gemara says, no, Hasam over there, Dilanafshe, there he's just making a meal for himself. So lo tarid, so he's not so preoccupied, he's not going to forget, and he won't end up violating Shabbos. But over here, Dilacheirim, here he's making a wedding, there's all these people coming to the wedding, there are other people he's preparing for, so tarid, so then he's going to be preoccupied, he'll make a mistake, and he'll end up again preparing on Shabbos and violating Shabbos. Inami, or you can say, Hasam over there, Islay Ravcha, there's plenty of time. In other words, he's going to make a Seudah Mafsekes, but he has plenty of time on Sunday to prepare that meal. But over here, where it's Saturday night, it's right after Shabbos, so less Le Ravcha, so there's really not that much time, and there's more of a concern that the individual will violate Shabbos. And the Gemara continues, Hashta da'asas lachi, now that you came up with this reason that we have a concern for the violation of Shabbos, so Erev Shabbos Nami. So the reason why Friday night also is going to be the same problem, why he can't have his first act of relations on Friday night. Gezeira, Shemi Yishchot Benof, it's the exact same Gezeira. We're afraid he might end up shechting a bird. Again, on Shabbos, he'll violate Shabbos for the purposes of the wedding. And the Gemara continues, Iboy Lahu, they have the following question. Basula Nisas Beravi, it says that a Basula, she gets married on Wednesday. So is it Vinivelis Beravi? Is the act of relations, could that also be on Wednesday? Below Chayshinon Likrui Daitan, we're not afraid that he's going to cool off, and by the time it comes in the morning, he's not going to go to Bezdin anymore. Let's say he discovers that something is wrong, that she might not be a Basula. O Dilmor, maybe Basula Nisas Beravi, the Basula gets married on Wednesday. Vinivelis Bechamishi, but the act of relations, it has to be on Thursday, meaning what we would call Wednesday night. It has to be at night. The Chayshinon Likrui Daita, because we're afraid that if it's too early, again, he's going to cool off, and then he might not not come to Bezin, even if he finds that something is wrong. Rashi over here says, again, he doesn't find that she's a virgin. So we're not afraid that his anger will cool off in this small amount of time. Or do we say that the act of Bia has to actually be on Thursday, meaning when it becomes dark on Wednesday, again what we would call Wednesday night, that's when the night of Thursday actually begins. So again, the question is the act of relations, is that going to be allowed on Wednesday, or is there then too much time between then and the time that he's going to go to court? And the Gemara continues, Tashma, come and hear the following proof. The Tani Bar Kapara, because Bar Kapara taught, Besula Nisus Beraviv v'Nevelis Bechamishi. It says that the Besula, again, she gets married on Wednesday, but the act of Bia is on Thursday, again, what we would refer to as Wednesday night. And what's the reason? Hoel v'nem rabo brachal adagam, because it was on the fifth day, it was on Thursday that there was a blessing for the fish, so it's a good time for that act of relations. Almana, when it comes to a widow, Nisas Bechamishi, she gets married, like we said, on Thursday, v'Nevelis Beshishi, and for her, the act of relations will be on Friday, again, what we refer to as Thursday night. Hoel v'nem rabo brachal adam, because there was a bracha given to man on Friday. Again, this is talking about during the 6 days of creation. And so the Gemara now says, Ta'ima mishum bracha, the only reason for the delay over here, meaning the reason why by a besula it's bechamishi, and why by a situation of an almana it's beshishi, is because of the special brachas that are on those days. Aval mishum ikrurei daita lo chashinan, but apparently we're not concerned with ikrurei daita, we're not concerned that the person's anger is going to cool. And Rashi over here says, bracha ladagim pru urevu milu esamayim, that's the bracha for the fish. And hoel v'nemra bracha la'adam, what's the bracha for man? Pru urevu milu esaaretz. Again, it's also a pru urevu. And the Gemara says, time of mishum bracha, the only issue here is bracha. Aval mandalo kabara bracha, let's say a person doesn't care about the bracha. Mishum ekroi daita lo chashin, and so we wouldn't be afraid that the person's anger is going to cool. Mishum hai pursa, just because of this little amount of time. But the Gemara continues, Yihachi, if so, almana nami, when it comes to a widow also, tibal b'chamishi, why doesn't she have the relations on Thursday? Hoel v'nem rabo bracha ladagim, because that was a day of the blessing for the fish. Why is she waiting until Friday? And to that the Gemara says, bracha da adam adifale, the bracha that is for man, that's actually better than the one for fish, so it's better that she waits until Friday. And the Gemara continues, bracha da adam adifale, the bracha for man is greater, umiu beshishi lo tinase besula, but Rashi points out, the besula should not get married on Friday, even though that's a good bracha, the vizman arach, because there's already a long time on Sheni b'Shabbos. If you're going to wait until Monday from then, it's a long time. They're already were afraid the person's anger will cool. But we're not concerned from Wednesday to Thursday, we're not concerned that the person's anger will cool. And the Gemara continues, V'inami, or you could say another reason why the Almana, she has the relations on Shishi, on Friday, Mishum Shaktu, it's because again, the Chachamim were diligent with regards to her celebration. The Tanya, as we learned in a Braisa, why did they say that an Almana, she gets married on Chamishi on Thursday, and she has the active relations on Friday? Shema ta'omer tibol b'chamishi, because if you would say that it should be done on Thursday, the active relations, l'machar ma'ashkim l'mnasav ha'olechlo, the next day the husband's going to get up, he's going to wake up and go to work, and he's going to leave her, it's not going to be good. So shaktu chacham al takonos benos Yisrael, so therefore the chacham were diligent in terms of instituting things on behalf of the daughters of Israel. Sheyehei sameach ima shlosha yamim, this way he'll be happy with her, he'll celebrate with her for 3 straight days. Chamishi b'Shabbos, v'erev Shabbos v'Shabbos, he'll celebrate with her on Thursday, on Friday, and on Shabbos. And the Gemara says, Ma'ika bein bracha l'shaktu, what's the difference between the two reasons? You gave 2 different reasons why the act of relations should be on Friday, either because of the special bracha, or because they were diligent to have a 3-day celebration. And the Gemara says there is the following difference. Ika beinayu, there's a difference between them. Adam bata, let's say it's a person who's not working anyway. So if the person's not working anyway, so it would not make a difference. He could have the act of relations on Thursday, he's not going to work on Friday anyhow. And on the other hand, if the person is working, that's when you have this concern. Inami, or you could say Yom Tov Shechalios Berev Shabbos. Another difference between them can be, let's say Yom Tov falls out on Erev Shabbos. Again, similar to Adam Batal, that's a situation where work is not a concern. So if the only concern would be work, so it would not be a concern in this case. But again, if the concern is bracha, if you want the bracha da Adam, so then of course the act of relations should be on Friday. As Rashi over here explains, Chamishi b'Shabbos, a 3-day celebration, you'll have Yom Chuppah, the day of the actual entrance into the wedding canopy, v'shishi b'Shabbos, then Friday will be chibas bia. That will be the closeness of bia, of relations. Adam batal, and again the difference is, let's say a person doesn't work. Lamad amar bracha, the one who says that the reason why Friday is a good day is because of the bracha the Adam adifa, because it's good for the bracha of Adam. Avzuti bal b'shishi. So in this case also, she should have relations on Friday because of the bracha the Adam. And Lamad amar mishum shaktu, the one who says that they want to have a 3-day celebration, he shouldn't go to work. So nevelas b'chamishi. So then already it'd be fine to have relations on Thursday. To halo yashkim lumnaso, because a person who doesn't have work is not going to be getting up to go to work anyway, so it is not a concern. And the Gemara continues, Darash bar kapara darshin, gedolim maisei tzadikim yoser mi maisei shamayim va'aretz. The deeds of the tzadikim, they are greater, more than the creation of the heavens and the earth. De'ilu b'maisei shamayim va'aretz, because whereas by the creation of the heavens and the earth, Ksiv, the pasuk says, Af yadi yosta aretz, v'imini tipcha shamayim. It talks about one hand in singular. My hand created the foundations of the earth, and again, my right hand created the heavens. Ve'ilu b'maisei yadem shal tzadikim, whereas by the deeds of the tzaddikim, Ksiv, the pasuk says, Machon l'shivtecha pa'alto Hashem mikdash Hashem konanu yadecha. It uses the word yadecha, which is plural, so it uses the idea, the lashon of two hands when it comes to the Beis HaMikdash, and the Beis HaMikdash is considered the maaseh yadav, that's considered the deeds, so to speak, of the tzaddikim. As Rashi says, mikdash maaseh yadei tzaddikim hu. The Beis HaMikdash is considered the work of the tzaddikim, and again, it's greater because it uses the language of plural as opposed to the language of singular. And the Gemara continues, Heisha Bavli Echad. So there was a certain Babylonian who responded to this drasha Bar Kapar, and he challenged it. Reb Chia Shemo, and his name was Reb Chia, and he challenged it as follows. The pasuk says, V'yabeshes Yadav Yatsaru. So it talks about the fact, again, the dry land was created by Yadav, and that's hands in plural. So on the contrary, you do see that it's plural when it comes to the creation of the earth, heavens and the earth. And to that he answered, no, Yado Ksiv, even though it's read as Yadav, plural, his hands, but it's written in singular, Yud Dalet Vav Yado, that's what's written, and therefore it is still singular. But the Gemara says, Vaksiv Yatsaru, but doesn't it say they created? It sounds like, again, plural, like the two hands. And the Gemara says, no, Amar Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak. Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak says, Yatsaru etzba'osav. It means the fingers of the hand, that's what created it. The plural is going on the fingers. Kedichsiv, like the pasuk itself says, Kiera shamecha masei etzba'osecha. It says the work of your fingers. You see that the same language is learned. Yarech v'kochav masher konant. Again, that you created, you set up the moon and the stars. And the Gemara continues with another question. Meisvei, they had the following question. Hashamayim misaprin kvorel u'maisei yadav magid harakia. It says that the heavens tell maisei yadav. So again, it seems to be talking about the creations of the heavens, and it calls it maisei yadav, using the plural for hands. And the Gemara says, no, hachikam. Here's how you understand this pasuk. Maisei yadeim shel tzadikim. It means the deeds of the tzadikim. Mi magid, who tells us that the tzadikim are doing the right thing? Harakia, the heavens tell us. How do the heavens tell us when the tzaddikim are acting appropriately? Umay niu, in what way do the heavens testify to the deeds of the tzaddikim? Matar, through the bringing of the rain. Rashi over here says, Hachi kamar hayu maaseh yadav v'maaseh hatzadikim ksiv shekruyin maaseh shalhem maaseh yadav shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The deeds of the tzadikim are referred to as maaseh yadav shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'hachi kamar, and here's how you understand that. Umaaseh yadav dehu maaseh hatzadikim. The maisim of the tzadikim magid harakia. The rakia tells about those maisim. Sharakia meir aleim labrios, because the rakia testifies to everybody. Shehem tzadikim, that these people are tzadikim. Shemispalin al geshamim, because they can daven for the rain. Umatar yored, and then the rain comes down. And the Gemara continues, Darash bar kapara darshans ma'idechsiv. What does the pasuk mean when it says v'yaseh tia l'chal azeinecha? It says you're going to have a peg among your tools or among your weapons, and so he darshans it as follows: Al tikrei azeinecha elo oznecha. Really, you should darshan it not v'yaseh tia l'chal azeinecha, referring to the weapons or the tools, but it's referring to oznecha. It's referring to your actual ears. What does that mean? Shem yishma adam davar sheino hagan. That let's say somebody hears something that's being said that's not appropriate, and we'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Hey Amud Beis.